Hey everyone, welcome back to Momentum Finance channel. My name is Mo and today I want to share with you something really personal and exciting. The journey that my wife and I are on towards financial independence. Right now we are sitting on a portfolio worth just over $1 million and over the next 8 years, we're aiming to grow that nest egg while living simply, comfortably and in the meantime, investing consistently. I'll walk you through how we invest, how much we are contributing every year, and why we keep things simple with mainly one ETF, which is XEQT, and what financial independence looks like for us. As you can see on Blossom, our portfolio, transparently, we are sitting at a portfolio just over $1 million, and it hasn't happened overnight. In fact, it's taken us years of consistent saving, investing, and staying disciplined through market ups and downs. I've touched on that in the past videos where how we managed to grow the portfolio size into where it is today. So if you're interested to learn more, be sure to check out some of those past videos. But what makes this really exciting for us is just not the size of the portfolio, and rather the system that we built around it. Our goal isn't to time the market or chase hot stocks. In fact, it's more so focused on growing steadily, tax efficiently, and simply slowly over time. So here's how we structure our investing each year. At the beginning of the year, we make sure we maximize our tax-free savings account or TFSA. Both my wife and I, we make sure to contribute the maximum amount. Right now, it is at $7,000 per person. So we make sure we put in the total of $14,000 for the two of us. Next, we try to tackle our registered retirement savings plan early on. As a couple, we are putting in approximately $20,000 a year. Now, this is based on the pension adjustment that is applicable to me because of the pension that I have as part of my job. That amount is taken out of the amount that I'm actually eligible to put in RSP, bringing my allocated amount that I can actually contribute to RSP a bit lower. But between my wife and I, approximately it is sitting roughly around that $20,000 a year, give or take. And lastly, we try to put in some money in our non-registered account. Now, this amount varies year by year. Last year, for example, we actually contributed quite extensively to our non-registered accounts and our RSP accounts, which had a much higher limit because we hadn't contributed to our RSP as much in the past few years for my wife. So we made sure that we maximized pretty much and contribute to the fullest for her RSP. But for the sake of this example, we're trying to keep it simple. So we go with that approximately $6,000 added annually for our non-registered account, bringing our total annual contribution to a minimum of $40,000 across all of our accounts. Now, here's where the magic would happen. If we continue to maintain that $1 million portfolio size as we have, and then add to it every single year, minimum of $40,000, that's going to be a propellant for getting to that financial independence much quicker. Even the power of compounding interest. With a starting point of $1 million and contributing that $40,000 every year, if you look at this specifically over the next 8 years, assuming we have a market return of 6 to 7%, which is more on a conservative side, we're looking at potentially adding hundreds of $1,000s to our portfolio, which could reach us to get to that $2 million portfolio size, if not more, which is in fact, ironically, at that FIRE number that we have, financial independence retire early number that we have for my wife and I. The key here is staying disciplined, not trying to chase quick returns, and rather sticking to the game plan and doing it every single year, no matter the market returns. If there are years whereby the markets are going to be performing poorly, we have to stick to the game. We have to continue to contribute to our portfolio as planned. First, maximizing our tax advantage accounts, and then from there onwards, contributing to our non-registered accounts. Ideally, if you have the amount of the money ready, our goal is to try to maximize those accounts early on in the year, for example, for tax-free savings account as early as January 2nd or within that first week. And similarly for RSP account, soon enough, perhaps shortly after the tax return has been submitted. And from there onwards, we would know how much room we have for our RSP contribution. So we're talking about, let's say, that March to April or May timeframe. And then for non-registered account, it could be a matter of contributing to it gradually over the years, or perhaps doing a lump sum if the amount is available. Now, you might be asking, why mainly investing in one ETF? Well, XEQT is actually the largest position that we have in our household portfolio, approximately 90% plus of our holdings. We have two other smaller holdings, but they are mainly in our RSP account, and with the aim of trying to, as much as possible, minimize withholding tax on dividend income from US companies. But back to XEQT. XEQT is an all equity ETF from iShares. And inside it, you have exposure to thousands of companies around the world, including companies in the US, in Canada, international development markets, and emerging markets, which is why through that automatic diversification and rebalancing and the beauty of the low cost, it does make it super easy for us. We don't have to really do a ton of research as we want to continue to put in money in the market. We just set it, buy it, forget it, and carry on and repeat. That's how we set ourselves up for success, no matter how the market does and no matter what the latest trend and hype might be in the market. Instead of juggling multiple funds and asset allocations or trying to really pick stocks, we have chosen this simplicity through this fund. XEQT is not the only product like that out there, though. There are many similar funds, especially for those who are interested in getting 100% exposure to the stock market and no fixed income. Other products out there include things like VEQT, which is offered by Vanguard. You have HEQT, you have ZEQT offered by BMO, you have FEQT offered by Fidelity, and several other funds like that. Those are the ones available in Canada. For those outside of Canada who are trying to mimic something similar, let's say if you are in the US, you could follow something like a VT fund. For the sake of demonstration, let me quickly show you how this compound interest calculator can work. I'm going to a website called getsmarteraboutmoney.ca, and there's a compound interest calculators. You can easily find it under the tools and calculators. Under calculators, there's one called compound interest calculator. So if you go in there, I'm going to put in the starting value of $1 million. And then from there on, let's say we annually contribute that $40,000 I told you about. For the sake of being a little more conservative, we're assuming that actually the interest rate on this portfolio is, let's say, 6.5%. And then from there onward, if interest is compounded annually, just again to be much more conservative, and then if we only allow it 8 more years, and if you hit calculate, it's going to show you that the total value of your investment is going to grow into over $2 million, which includes over $700,000 of interest earned. And it has a nice breakdown as well for you, easily showing you how this amount is growing, including the interest earned as well as the value of investment. The beauty of it is, though, if you were to continue this longer, so let's say if you decided to, for whatever reason, let's say delay your early retirement, or decided, you know what, you want to continue to work more, instead of 8 years, let's say we give it 15 years, the amount is going to grow into a whopping $3.5 million. It just shows you, if you didn't touch this portfolio, continue to do the same thing, but let's say if you're to do this all the way until 65, so let's say approximately another 23 years or so, that would bring the amount of the portfolio to $6.2 million, of which the amount of interest is $4.3 million. Just whopping amount and super, super incredible. Goes to show you the power of compounding and how over time, as you consistently contribute to your portfolio and give it time to grow, even with a modest return of 6.5% or so, you're going to have your portfolio growing into a much larger size. Of course, the starting value of the portfolio plays a huge part. Like if we didn't have this starting $1 million in this case, contribute, let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just see if we only contributed $40,000 per year and had it for 23 years, it still grows to a nice size of $2 million, but not, of course, the $6 million that we are talking about. Definitely does play a part. Consistency, starting value of the fund plays a part, as well as how much regularly you can contribute and continue at it. Don't stop the train, let it continue to run no matter the ups and downs of the market. For us, financial independence isn't about retiring early necessarily and not doing anything after. It's about actually that freedom of choice, being able to spend more time with our family, travel where we want, and work on projects that actually bring us joy, and not being necessarily tied down to having to work paycheck to paycheck. That doesn't mean that necessarily once we get to that point, we have to quit our jobs or anything like that. It's about that optionality and choice. We'll cross that bridge when we get there and as we get closer to those years to come. The beauty of this approach is about simplicity as well. I hope that came across through this video, how we try to keep things simple through one single fund, automating our contributions as much as possible early on in the year, and sticking with the same fund, not really dancing in and out of it for random reasons. That's our plan. $1 million today, consistent $40,000 annually at least, and of course investing in the single fund that we have chosen for our own portfolio. If you found this video beneficial and hopefully inspiring, I will appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. It really means a lot to us. As you can see on my channel here on Momentum Finance, I post various videos, including inspiring videos and interviews with other thought leaders and those who have either made it to financial independence or those who are on their path to reaching financial independence. The goal is learning from them, learning from their lessons, from their successes, as well as their mistakes. Of course, inspiring you to become better versions of yourself as you pursue financial independence, retire early. With that, thank you so much everyone for watching this video until the end. I hope to see you all next time.